What's up guys, it's me again, CrushedPixel. Welcome to episode 2 of our MCEdit Programming tutorial. And in the last episode we created this input box for our filter, and in this episode we're going to do something with it. Yep, that's one thing we're going to do. We're going to create a block at the Y position we define here, and with a material that we can define like here, for example, birchwood. So for every Z and X position we select, like from here to here, at each of this X and Z positions there's going to be a block at a Y position we give here, which is from a material that we give here. And actually this is much simpler than you may think. And everything is going to happen after this define. Def stands for define. Everything that MCEdit is going to do stands after this define perform here, and instead of just putting a random variable to 1, we first have to get these inputs to a variable. So so what it does now, it just creates the options and does nothing. But we want these options to become variables that we can handle and that we can work with. This is what it's going to look later. So you see there is nearly nothing that happens. And first we're going to think about a name, about the variable that the Y position where our block is going to be put later is stored in. And I think block Y is a good name for the variable, because the Y position of a block, yeah, that's what it is, so we give it this name. And every variable has to start with a lowercase letter, and it cannot start with any number and so on, and you shouldn't have any special special characters, so it's just lowercase text. This is what I always recommend. And to this block Y variable we want to have the options from Y position. So what this does, it just takes what we write into here, like 1, and sets the variable block Y to this variable. It very important is only the name, that the name is like the same name as it is here in our inputs list. And MCEdit knows what options is. It's a container for all of these inputs, and it's something special that you can't do if you're programming normally, but you can do this when you program with MCEdit, obviously. And the second variable we need for what we're doing today is the material. So we just create a variable called block type, or just block. Let me just call it block, so it's the material. And then we just write options material, because that's a name. And now that we've done this, in the variable block Y is stored the Y position, and in the variable block there is stored the material it's made of. And we're going to use this to create the block later then. Okay, so for now it just does nothing, but it takes all of these inputs, or at least these two which we need for today. And now let's just think with the computer. Where are we going to start? Just somewhere random, or somewhere at the selection? We have to start somewhere. So we just write for x in x range, box.min x, box.max x, and then this double point here. I still don't know if it's called this way. And what this does, it just takes every block from the minimum X selection and the maximum X selection, which is like this is the minimum X and this is the maximum X, and it takes every block and works for every single block of this and stores the X position of it into this variable X. So MCEdit stores every X position for every of these X positions in the box into this variable, every single one, and it repeats everything that we write after this for loop. It's a loop actually. It repeats it until we reached the maximum X position. And because we don't only have one axis that we work on in our selection, but two, like the Z axis 2, we don't look at the Y position because for every block there's only one Y position where we're going to set the material. It sounds maybe complicated, but we have to add the Z position too. So for a Z in X range, box.min Z, box.max Z. What we wrote now makes that for every block that we've got on the X-axis, it creates for every block on the Z-axis, it does the thing. So for every block we got here, for example, this is the X block, it does the same thing for every Z block. So it does first this row, then this row, then this row, and so on. And now, after this loop, we can write what it does for every single block. And what it does then, it just sets a block at the Y position with the same X and Z position. So for example, if we got our X position here and our Z position here, it puts a block at this position just at a different Y position, so at a different height level. And how this works is we write level.setBlockAt, and now we define the coordinates where the block is going to be set, and it's going to be X, which we have from here, then the Y position, which we have got from our options, block Y, and Z, which we've got from here again, and then we write the ID of the block, and the ID of the block we get from here from the options again. We write block.id, and what it does now, it takes the ID from the container, which is block. It's not just a simple variable, it's a container with block.id and block data, but this is a little bit more complicated, and it sets the block at the given position for every of this block of the selection to the ID that we get from our options. And because some blocks have a sub-ID called the block data, like you see here, normal wood has the ID 17, but pine wood and birch wood and jungle wood has the ID 17 too. But we want to make a difference between them. So this is the sub-ID, like number 1, and we have to set this sub-ID for this position too. So we make level.setBlockData at, then the same here, same position obviously, set, and then block data. So this block means the variable we defined here, and block data is stored like block ID is stored in this container variable. And like block data, if we select birchwood, the ID is 17 and the block data is 2, and we just set the data at this position to 2 and the block ID to 17, and this just means we create a proper birchwood block if we want to have a birchwood block there. So for now, everything that it does is correct, and I just head over to MCEdit again, reload the filter, which is pretty simple. You just have to click select and then the filter again, and now we have here our tutorial filter, and the Y position we want to have is 70 because the Y position of the snow here is 64, sorry. Our material is going to be birchwood, and we just had filter. The other selections are not necessary for us now, and you see it creates for every of this For every X and Z position of the selection, it creates a block at our given Y position. Let me just repeat this several times. Like I want to have for this selection at a higher Y level, what do I want? Yellow wool, which has a sub ID too. Here you see the sub ID. Then we hit filter, and after I save or so, it creates our block. You see, it was pretty easy to create a block using an MCEdit filter, and that's how you code it. It's pretty simple, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something, and see you in the next video. Bye!